Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I see everybody's filed in already. I appreciate it. Nikki, Patriot Pepper, B-Dog, Wanda, how you doing? So, I tell you, do you read my title, what I got on there? Brunson case, SCOTUS, SEAL Team 6. I guess I could say that, but I didn't spell it out in the I said it before my 30 seconds. But anyway, Ben, and then the last part is Ghazi. That stuff's coming back. The Iran situation with pallets of gold. All that stuff, word on the street is going to be bursting onto the scene. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Melinda. So have you all heard that? I know everybody's heard about the Brunson case. They're going to get another turn at bat tomorrow. So let's see if anybody's. Hi, Bubba. So Lisa, how you doing? Quilt. Hope, how you doing? Nix. Well, there was some very interesting language. How Wild West. Aha, all the evil people, yeah. Some very interesting language being used in the news articles that are reporting the Brunson case being taken up once again. Now, tomorrow, what they're going to decide is whether or not to hear the case. Remember in my past broadcasts, I said they're going to decide whether or not they're going to decide to hear, and then they'll decide whatever they decide after they hear the case. How you doing, Tennessee? So, anyway, Mr. T thought so much of it that he put it on his posts as something that was very important. And like I say, the wording is very interesting. They use the term in news reports, WAR, okay? WAR. And a lot of things about what I've seen today and last night have got me thinking. Now, I put up the articles from the Rolling Stone last night. I showed them on the screen. I did a picture show. I could have done one today, but I don't want to get taken down. Now, there's a bunch of channels getting harassed or demonetized and taken down. The one I showed you called Odin's Men that has different things on there about the lifestyle that's very troubling to present to young people. He's been demonetized with something like 800,000 subscribers on his different channels. Salty Cracker, I don't know if he's coming back today or not. I didn't check. Hi, Georgia. But he was taken down, got a strike, taken down for a week, and he removed all his videos. If you go look on his site. So I have to be careful. I could have put a video up of a young man talking about having documents that he's presented to members of Congress where he's discussing irrefutable evidence of what happened in Ben, in the second part of the word is Ghazi, okay? And also what happened to SEAL Team. Remember that number, that SEAL team is 6, all right? And the Iran deal and other things. Now, I'm certain that would get flagged and taken down, but I may still do it. I may still get a copy, a clip of that, and play it in a standalone video, maybe. So let's see, I might do that, but he uses the word HANG, okay? What's going to happen to the people that were involved? because the long and the short of it is that the pallets of gold that went over to that country, Iran, was payment. Okay, payment in return for the turning in of Osama, right? Remember him, Bin, and then the other parts, Laden, and so that was a payoff, and also I remember the day that it was reported about SEAL Team 6 being shot down. I stopped in my tracks. I couldn't believe it. My jaw dropped, especially when I heard that 30 some of them were on one copter. You know, most people don't know, but the average person who pays a little bit of attention to military protocol and read some stuff on special ops knows you don't put the whole team in one copter, and especially one that's a piece of junk broken down. Well, that's another story. But that was also they were basically offered up as tribute and retribution, okay, for having to surrender Bin and Laden, okay? So you had two payments made. The pallets of gold and pallets of cash, and also that team, in its entirety. They were set up, in other words. They were set up. So this person claims he's got irrefutable documents that he's given to a congressman that he is, or woman, that he is not disclosing who it was, but he says it's all going to be coming out, and that news medias are being supplied with the information, and we're going to see who's on our side as far as the news, and who wants to keep playing the game, who wants to keep the narrative up. Okay, remember I had a question one time. Let me see if I got that banner. About news reporters. So, are they reporters or are they operatives? Reporters are operatives. Now, if they get sensitive information like this with irrefutable documents, and they don't report on it, or if their reporting is shoddy or twisted. Ha ha, Bob Gatt said Osama bin Soup Ladle. Okay, that's what I call him from now on. So anyway, that's very exciting news that this is coming back around, and the situation think of a word for, I'll just say Benghazi. Benghazi. The word on that, and a lot of you have heard this, and I heard it also, that there was arms dealing going on, and that Ambassador Stevens was the middleman for arms dealing, and he got caught in a situation. He was not at the embassy. He was in what they called a consulate, but it was really a meeting place to exchange arms for cash. And this was after Gaddafi fell, and I could give you details about that situation with Stevens, but not tonight, maybe tonight later. But it's a little gross what happened to him. And I had a picture of him where he was on a gurney, and they had a blanket pulled, I am telling you, tightly up around his chin and his ears, where all you saw was his face. And the rest of his body was very well covered up. And but he was treated in a manner to avenge what happened to Gaddafi, which I won't get into details. But it was a horrible, horrible situation. But the understanding is that a lot of people involved in that. We know the main one. Mrs. Hillary, okay? There's just no, according to this person, the documentation is so final, and the offenses are so heinous that there's not going to be another way to resolve the matter, but to have the ultimate punishment. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Maria. Hi, Diamond. How you doing? Stacy, how you? So now the Brunson case, we were told that they were not going to give up. And when it first came up, I said, well, I would be surprised if the Supreme Court made a ruling that pretty much decapitated our government. You didn't see that anywhere in the Constitution. Also, you have to think of the fact that the facts of the matter are that these individuals named in the suit did not perform their duties as specifically outlined in the Constitution, and it constitutes the treason word, right? Well, you know what? What do you say about when the Supreme Court doesn't enforce that? Well, it could be said that they are in the same situation as the people that are named in the suit. They've done the same thing. Acts of TREA, son, okay? Now, we know that not all the justices voted to not hear it. You know, Clarence Thomas wanted to get into it elbow deep. But apparently you had, along with Justice Roberts, who would be the shot caller as the Chief Justice, all it takes is one out of the majority, and then you lose. So did somebody put their 10 cents in, 2 cents, whatever, wearing a uniform, telling them they need to rehear this thing? And I want you to think about something, how this ties in with a lot of stuff. How does this tie in with the Thailand situation? Remember that Thailand, the king's daughter, of course, everybody knows that. If there's some people out in chats that don't know, 44 years old, she's in a coma. She had gotten 3 things in her shoulder. And the government, including the king, is seriously looking at criminal situation for the company, the drug company involved, which starts with a PH. So now that everybody's on the same page, it was further determined that the crime, if committed, falls under the purview of the military in Thailand. This is not something that is dealt with by a civilian court. Okay, I see. And we also have treaties where we cooperate with someone who has committed a crime in another country. We extradite, we arrest, we'll hunt them down if we can. They'll do it for us too, you know. Then you got to think about this Brunson thing. If this was the case, and as I said, there isn't a mechanism for the Supreme Court to decapitate the government. Take out 2 branches. Take out the majority of Congress and the executive branch, leaving the judicial branch standing alone. Well, something tells me this case might not be, especially since the WAR word was mentioned in the articles, this may not be a matter for our civilian justice system. It could very well get tossed over to the military to handle it because we're in armed conflict. And we were told by Mr. T that he was is a wartime president, and that we're dealing with an invisible enemy, right? So let me look at this language, see what I could get away with. This is the article that Mr. T re-truthed. SCOTUS to reconsider hearing case alleging Biden-Harris lawmakers ignored 2020 fraud. Oh my gosh, I'm not allowed to say that word. And broke oaths. Okay? That they broke their oath. So up top, Trump wrote, true. Such a big and important concept. It goes on to say a quote, RIGGED selection, quote, is equivalent to war since both, quote, put into power a, quote, victor, argues plaintiff, and therefore allegations of a RIGGED election must be investigated. So if it's found to be the equivalent to war, what's the old saying? If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, the Supreme Court doesn't do wars, okay? The Supreme Court does not go on a battlefield. The Supreme Court does not handle psyops. It does not handle infiltration, enemy infiltration, okay? So this may very well get kicked over to the military court. And the timing of this, along with this individual who is bringing up the things that we knew were horrendous in Benghazi, that we knew there was crooked stuff going on. We all were looking at side eye when they got Osama bin Laden, right? We knew there was something wrong with that. And it was done, him being captured was done to give Obama an election boost, okay? To give him a boost. Hi, honey. How you doing, honey? Hi, Reba. We got two Hopes. There's Hope Matrix. Hi, Ronald. So anyway, this thing might get kicked over to the military to handle. Now you could pretty much freely use, as far as the majority of the population, it would be called a shadow docket, because that's something that would be discussed and handled as far as the nuts and bolts and the brass tacks of it would not be something that would be made public. Like I said, when you get pulled before a commission or a tribunal, it's not to try to wiggle out of it somehow. It's try to mitigate your punishment, because they're going to get you dead to rights. Okay, so these things out of the blue always have been boiling in our minds, but in the minds of the general public, who thinks about Benghazi? Who thinks about SEAL Team 6? Who thinks about the Iran deal? Trump brings it up. Trump says he's never seen that pallets of cash and gold, but the general public has forgotten about it. This could burst onto the scene. This could be hearings that would be, oh, I know, it would make the Super Bowl look like a puppy show, right? It would be tremendous, because you would be dealing with all your main players. Ha ha ha. Ben Gazzara, you remember that? Ben Gazzara? That's how I'll start referring to it. So, anyway, let me just look through chats and see what's going on. See how everybody's doing. If I missed anybody, I apologize. And see if anybody else is dropping any news reports. And if you get a chance, Hope says she's got no faith in the Supreme Court. Oh, come on, Hope. Remember Clarence Thomas now. That is the de facto Chief Justice in Donald Trump's eyes. I've been over that in my earlier broadcasts. So give me a thumbs up, folks, if you like broadcasts. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. And if you're not subscribed, why don't you go ahead and do that and get it over with? Hi, Angel. How are you? So anyway, folks, that language as far as the WAR word, and that these people were, quote, put into power a, quote, victor. That's also known in historical terms as a usurper. Usurper, U-S-U-P-E-R, usurper. That is what you could fairly call Joe Biden. Now, at the same time, we have Jim Jordan announces he subpoenaed all these people with the big tech firms. So I read through them, and it's the same usual suspect. You know, I won't go over them. We know who the big tech people are. But there's one I noticed wasn't on there. UTizzle. Because this was primarily about forming a narrative, censorship, suppressing people. And I'm saying, well, no, UTizzle? Well, what happens then? Susan Wojcicki resigns from UTizzle. That was the big news that popped out today. So let me tell you something else that you need to think about, that I'm thinking about what I'm going to bring up next, along with the past things I've just discussed. The Truth and Reconciliation Act, okay? These people may be compelled to step down when they're told to step down. Who's going to take over? Do you want to deal with the devil you know or the devil you don't know? Are we going to flush out another operative? Are we going to get people that usually stay in the shadows, or are they going to be forced out to the front now that their puppet has been removed? Let me get a sip of my coffee. I don't know. But let me tell you where I think the Truth and Reconciliation Act is being played out in front of us with, as we all know, Twitter. Kash Patel let us know that Elon Musk got billions and billions, tens of billions of dollars, the highest paid contractor, you might as well say, in the world. And then all of a sudden he buys Twitter. Then he puts somebody in charge of the Twitter files. Who does he put in charge of the Twitter files? Matt Taibbi, right? Matt Taibbi was a stone cold Trump hater. Okay? He was infected with TDS so bad, but he's putting this stuff out, right? Who did Matt Taibbi work for? Let me give you all a little bit of time and see if anybody can, if anybody's down with putting the thread together as far as the Truth and Reconciliation Act and what we're seeing play out in front of us right now. Who did Matt Taibbi work for? What entity? And like I said, there's a delay, so I'll wait a second. And I know 7 members, Honey says, 7 members of Parliament, UK, have announced they will stand down, okay, at the next select, you know. So like we were told, if they resign, they have been submitted and they will do as they're told. So let's see. No, Fox, nice try. It's a good try, Nikki. No, he didn't work for Fox. Let's see. Matt Taibbi. I mentioned this group last night. It's a news organization or an entertainment. Aha, Quilt. Quilt got it. Rolling Stone. So, Truth and Reconciliation Act. And this situation being a matter for the Defense Department, this being a wartime situation, they buy Twitter. Elon Musk, who Trump said would have gone down on his knees and kissed my feet for the money. I'm not saying Elon Musk is perfect, never have, but he is definitely doing his work as assigned, I'll say. Then you have him put Matt Taibbi in, who worked for Rolling Stone, and Matt Taibbi is letting out sensitive information, but also timing it in a way that I'm sure is with the program, the information operation, not a PSYOP. PSYOP is a lie-op, okay? Information is the truth, okay? So, what did Rolling Stone put out 2 times to put in the public consciousness? 2 articles about Trump. Public and group capital punishment, I'll say, instead of the EXEC word. Okay? And the expansion of the methods, which we were talking about last year. Hi, Georgia. No way, wow. That's right. Everything I'm telling you is real. We've talked about it night after night. That's right, Philo or Bobcat, capital punishment. That we had those 2 articles. I read them to you last night. And so it went from Rolling Stones talking about that article to, let me see if I can find it in my photos. It went from that to, another news article published it. I can't remember what. It might have been the New York Times. I don't know. But I was watching LT on And We Know, and he also put up an old tweet from DJT, an old tweet, back before he got knocked off Twitter, which should be up and available now since they've let Trump back in. His account should be searchable. Donald Trump retweeted a person called Oscar the Midnight Rider with 4 ones behind his name. Oscar the Midnight Rider 1111. Hidden Biden and Obama may have had SEAL Team 6 KILLED. Explosive. C.I.A. whistleblower exposes Biden's alleged role with the DATH of SEAL Team, claims to have documented proof. Retweet. So that should be available to the general public now that Trump's account is open. Do you think Trump's going to go back on Twitter? Let's see how many people think Trump will be back on Twitter. Okay, Mike, get some good rest, buddy. So that was brought out by Trump last year, at least, that a CIA whistleblower, okay, and I just said the whole word without breaking it up, had documented evidence, okay, that Biden was involved. And we've always talked about the little ones being the key to reunite this country, right? Stacey says, I don't think he will. Hanging says yes later. Nikki says no. Tennessee says no. Donna, hi Donna, says no. Quilt says no. Well, I tell you, I think that once his agreement with Truth Social runs out, non-compete, who knows? Well, is he going to do a some kind of merger? Maybe he will do some kind of cooperative thing with Twitter. Twitter's foundering, just like CNN. Trump said, "There's only one person who could save CNN. That's me." Because that's when they were getting most views and making the most money. Me. So it may be the very same thing with Twitter. So I think he's going to come back for big smacks in the face on Twitter. And if you want more, you're going to have to go to Truth Social. That's what I think. He's going to use, because if he posts anything, it's going to break the internet, okay, worldwide. And Trump's main goal is to get the message out and wake people up. So this is too big a story. All the stories are too big. The whistleblower with the C.I.A. And Biden involved with SEAL Team 6, that would be an explosion. And we know that a lot of people with Androids simply can't get on Truth Social, even though I've done 3 videos back before my other channel got taken down, how to get on there. And if anybody wants to know, I'll repeat it tonight. If you want to get on Android on Truth Social, I will repeat it. So I think he's going to go on there to drop bombs, and he'll say, "If you want to know more, follow me on Truth Social." And they might go ahead and release a version that could get on all devices. We'll see. But anyway, I think Rolling Stones magazine, I think the reporter Matt Taibbi, I think Elon Musk, and this reporter that did the interview I saw with someone who was discussing these documents, and these the person who has the documents, I think they're all following in line with the Truth and Reconciliation Act as a matter of executive order, as a matter of law. It's an order that says the media, okay, they're all ordered to bring out the truth in such a way as to, what did I say was the first law of war? Humanity. Here I have first law of armed conflict is humanity. To have this nation reconcile. As like Lincoln said, a house divided cannot stand. So now we're getting this. I've got up there SCOTUS, focus. I put that up after the 17th letter, put out one of their very few return drops, information drops. They said focus, and then they put it in capital letters, focus. Now, what's happening now is a good example. All the things we've been dealing with. One balloon turns into 99 balloons, and they all get shot down. And then Biden comes out and says, "Oh, well, some of them were just research balloons. We knew that." And then you have multiple train derailments, vehicles running off the road with nitric acid. You've got all these kinds of things going on. You got them opening up a UFO branch to investigate UFOs. They have the mainstream media talking about the possibility of aliens being involved. Nah, we're going to focus, okay? You're not going to make monkeys out of us, all right? We're going to keep our eye on things that are going on. Bobcat says he's got both numbers in his birthday of Trump. I'll be darned. You turn 54, mirror on 55. I'll be darned. Yeah, Dan, I see what you're saying, Don. I think they all belong in China, though. A lot of androids and stuff. Who's this guy? Fast as Gump. Nikki, did you nix that character? He I thought, this guy Gump, I see you on here on the screen putting your comments in. If you want to have a good conversation, that's fine. If you want to just put in goofball stuff, if you're some kid playing around with playing around with the phone that somebody gave you or whatever. Hi, Aaron, how you doing? So if you want to have a good conversation, we're discussing the fact of the matter, and this is strictly to the Gump guy. The Gump guy, is he still around? Oh, you got rid of him? Okay, good. I won't waste my breath. I was going to give him a little message. So anyway, hi Cheryl, how you doing? Yeah, Wild West, YouTube will do that if it's got certain words in it. So be careful. You just like A use a for, if it's got the word's got an A in it, the questionable word. Hi Lolo. So anyway, let's see. So we have already tracked down, just through observation and the ability to put two and two together, we can see that we know there's a Truth and Reconciliation Act. And we know it orders people in the news media to conduct themselves in a way where the truth is put out with the least amount of civil unrest as possible, and to get this country to reconcile with each other, even like this person that was just up here that Nikki took care of. We got to try to reconcile with each other. So we know that Elon Musk is involved to bring out the truth and help the country reconcile. We know that Rolling Stone magazine is involved, and we know that this Matt Taibbi is involved. How many others are involved? Trump came out very strongly against Fox News last week. He said he's not with them and they're not with him. And we know that Paul Ryan is on the board of Fox News, right? Well, he stepped down as Speaker of the House at a very young age. So was he a person who was told to resign and was submitted and has submitted and will do it as he is told? He bowed out, or was he forced out? Who gives up the Speaker of the House position when they're in their 40s? Nancy hung on till she looked like the character on that TV show Tales from the Crypt. Yes, there's more than 200,000. I think it's about 240. And I tell you, it's hard to look in these. I've got a number of people are talking about mass arrests. They've been going on. They've been going on. And somebody, I'm sure, will end up doing a story that says, look how many MASS arrests have come out. Let's see, Trump put up an article about 330 people being arrested in California, crimes against little ones, okay? He put that article up himself. Yesterday, the sheriff in Florida, I should remember his name, but he had a press conference where 250 people were arrested for trafficking, right? And then there was another article that I think it was in Texas, another 200 and some people. Right there's 1,000 people in a 48-hour period. Now, if that's not mass arrests, I don't know what is. And that's been ongoing. This is not the first time I've discussed arrests that concern 200 or more people. Clandestine put out a Rolling Stone article on Trump's plans for televised EXEC upon his return to the White House. Keep in mind, Russian military, Chinese military, and Trump have all accused, quote, Western oligarchs of crimes against humanity. Nuremberg 2.0 on the horizon? Question mark. You had some members of Western countries' parliament, I believe it was Scotland, and this is Australia's down under, and then I believe in England, that were calling out the Nord Stream pipeline disaster as an international crime. And you had someone stand up in the Russian legislature and say that Biden was a criminal and he needed to pay the price. Here was a Breitbart article about said that the Trump team refutes claims. Now let me read this headline, and you see what's weird about this headline. Trump refutes claims about firing squads. Ridiculous and fake news, quotes. Trump team refutes claims he wants video campaign to hype firing squads and group executions. That is on Breitbart. Well, he didn't say that he wasn't going to go push to have them. They said it's fake news that he's going to hype televised showing of it. He won't have to hype it. It'll hype itself. But I think it's going to be, I know it's going to be done publicly. That's what happened with the Nuremberg crowd. Hi, Deputy Dog. Happy birthday, Philo. Let me see. How many people? Let's see. Yeah, Grady Judd. Thank you, Bobcat. Sheriff Grady Judd. He announced over 200 people. Yeah, Donna, Bill Barr. He reinstated it, and the methods, and the some magazines were using terminology like it was barred. It was never barred. They just put some bonehead put a moratorium on it. I think it was Obama. That's right. What makes a good movie? I would put that up, but I can't use your name on the screen. I'm pushing it. I'm just looking through the. So anyway, that again, this has gone from Rolling Stone to Breitbart, and then let's see, this next article that's coming out, being reported by most organizations, is court documents, not a leak, not a whistleblower, court documents James Biden secretly negotiated $140 million deal with Saudis due to relationship with Joe Biden. Okay, they've got quotes from him. They've got documents that have been put in the courtroom because they started some kind of business here last week about Trump being in bed with the Saudis, trying to put that in a negative light and trying to tie that together with Biden's failures as far as dealing with our oil crisis. Well, this puts it to bed, okay? Talking about over $100 million Joe Biden's brother was dealing with. Jersey Joe, yeah. Bruce Willis ain't the only one with dementia. At least that's what they're going to claim. Is James Biden pulling the strings? RM, how you doing? Yeah, he's been involved for a long time. And I'll tell you another one that's popped up out of the woodwork is what's the one with his brother? Podesta, John Podesta. Yeah, Ronald, I see. Use a one for an I, like in an ASSASSINA word. You put a one for the I, and that messes the algorithm up. They don't see that word. Yeah, that's the way you do it. That's the way you do it. So anyway, so that put the business of messing up, trying to muddy the waters with Saudi Arabia. They threw it right back into Biden's lap. And who else was dealing with Iran that's going to, I guarantee you, is going to come up? I'll give you a hint. Now, here's another issue you're going to think is off topic, but it's not. UN Chief Guterres warns of mass climate exodus on a biblical scale. So they're beating a climate change drum. Now, they're all on the same page. They're all like worms in a clump of dirt. Who else was beating the climate change drum and is with the elites and worried about climate change, but also tangled up in the Iran deal in Benghazi? Whose name's going to pop out? And I'll tell you what, it's another one that people have been quiet about for a long time, but the 17th letter brought him up a number of times. Let's see if anybody in the chats gets it, then I'll tell. Somebody they got pictures of. They got pictures of having secret meetings with the heads of the Iranian government. Karen says Clinton. Nope. Good guess, though. They've got pictures of them meeting with in violation of many laws. And you could, there you go, Roy. How you been? He comes in with the answer. Wanda got it too. Patriot thought it was No Name McStain. Donna got it. John Kerry. We got everybody popping in the answer. That's right. Frankenstein face. Logan Act didn't play with Kerry. That's exactly right, B-Dog. That's what they tried to hang General Flynn with, the Logan Act. But he's done so much worse than that, so much worse over the years. And he's another one. Him and the empire he married into, Heinz Ketchup. They say he married up. So now we're going to tie into, we've got this stuff is hanging by a thread. This Damocles sword is hanging over their head by a thread. Meanwhile, what's going on with their puppet state that they use. That's UKR. Okay. That's their puppet state that they run everything through. Their money laundering, the BIO labs, okay? The human trafficking, they've got their full reign in that country, and they are losing big. All right. Most all the NATO countries have said we're running out of ammunition. They're using ammunition faster than we can make it. Germany announced that they're only going to send half of the tanks that they said they would. I mean, we're down to like that. They're getting less than 10 tanks, and they think it's going to turn the situation around. So Ukraine is getting ready to fall, and Russia is completed its partial mobilization. They've got a hell of a lot of soldiers on the border. They got Belarus that's ready to jump in and saying if there's one of their people or soldiers injured on their territory, they'll be held to pay. So they're going to watch their step next to Belarus. So another report came out that Russia has launched into the territory of the Black Sea a nuclear submarine armed with nuclear missiles, and possibly one in the North Atlantic. It's the first time there have been armed nuclear subs launched in 30 years. The first time. And they're making no bones about it. And those things will go underwater. I mean, they have aerial photographs of the things leaving port. They'll go underwater, they're nuclear powered, and they're very hard to find, very hard to spot. So the latest is the Russian Air Force is now, quote, constrained as attention turns to Putin's major address next week. I believe he's going to address his version of the parliament on the 22nd. On the 22nd, which is going to be very close to the anniversary of this operation. I believe it began on the 24th. And word is that they're going to come in with a vengeance, and they're not going to fool around. The Ukrainian army has nothing left. They have very few offensive weapons. They have very little ammunition. They're, as I keep repeating, they're shanghaiing people off the street. I seen a video with kids that couldn't have been more than 15 years old being sent to the front. I had a video which I could show it, but I think a description's enough. A car's driving by a cemetery with fresh flowers as far as you could see back from the road, driving along. Thousands of graves, fresh graves, thousands, as this car drives along the road. And I put up the picture of the Ukrainian figure skater who got shanghaied, who got forced into service and lost his life. And I said that in this particular battle of Bakhmut, they have a 4-hour life expectancy. So I don't know how it can get much worse than that. That's right. Putin and Trump, the ball's in your court now. Well, it's in Putin's, and I tell you, he could do a lot more than I won't get into that. What I think he may elect to do. Well, Julie, how you doing? Well, Don Lemon fired? Is he totally fired, or is he still on his little goofy morning show? Or did they just get rid of him altogether? I mean, who wants to wake up in the morning and look at that thing? I don't know if he's totally fired or not. I tell you, I was going to do a video about all those news guys, what they all had in common. But I'm going to hold off on that. Don Lemonhead, that's right. Oh, let's see. So he was totally fired then. That's the word. Meredith McCrane died. Well, folks, I've gone 55 minutes. I haven't said this is a viewer supported and creator supported channel only. I appreciate everybody that's helped me. I got a buy me a coffee link in the description. If anybody wants to help the channel out, I'm just an old man with a cell phone doing what I can do. And I've got my link in the description. I should have them in just about every video that I do. And February, I got help from Aaron and somebody, and Wanda. She came in the last day of February, but here's everybody that's helped me out from last year to now, and I do appreciate it. I doubt I've let anybody's name off, but if I did, shame on me and tell me who you are. But that's everybody that's helped me: Aaron, Robin, Kristen, Wanda, Sandy, Norman, Dory, Pamela, Nikki B, Camperman, Sinsen, Mac, KNS Cleaning, Killer Fuzz, somebody one and somebody two. Hit the like button. You mean like? Karen said hit the like button. Like. That's right, folks. Oh, thank you, Aaron. I appreciate it. But I got me a little stand where I can set my phone on here, and I can pay a little bit better attention to the chats. But they do go by quickly, and I do my best because I do want to keep my train of thought. So that is the big news, and we will talk real quick about this Fetterman character. Fetterman breaking Pennsylvania John Fetterman hospitalized with depression. Office says, according to a statement, Pennsylvania Democratic Senator admitted himself to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. That's the thing too. These congressmen, they go from looking like a street bum walking around with a hoodie, where they get the best medical care at Walter Reed because they're a congressman or a senator. He checked himself into Walter Reed National Military Medical Center to receive treatment for clinical depression. So we're seeing an operation right there to replace a senator, okay, with a member of a communist, a newly minted communist country, which is Brazil, okay? So we're going to keep an eye on that, but we called this right after the election, who was going to be the senator. And it's going to be his wife, who is a Brazilian citizen and a avowed communist that not one person voted for. Hi, Ivan. I appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate you tuning in. A simple riddle. What is it you give away, but yet you keep it? Tell us, tell us. Okay, yeah, we got a lot of people that are awake, you know, and I do hope once in a while I say to myself, I wish somebody would come in and I could have a good argument with, but you know, they usually come in playing little goofy games and being insulting, and you can't have an adult conversation. But maybe they'll pay attention when the things that Rolling Stone magazine was discussing begins to happen. Okay, folks? That's going to wake a lot of people up. So I'm coming up on my hour. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. I appreciate you walking through history with me and giving me your what? Your precious time. Your precious time. And I hope you all have a great evening. And we will be talking soon. Probably tomorrow we should be. So you all have a great night. This is Mountain Man, over and out.